Before the Torah unveils the creation of Adam Harishon in Perek Bet, Pasuk He, it depicts a barren land devoid of trees and the flourishing herbs of the field. This desolate canvas was due to a lack of divine rain and the absence of a laboring hand to work the soil. The Pasuk reveals that life had not yet graced the earth. Therefore, the blessing of rain had not fallen. But why? Why had the rain not come? The Gemara in Chulin Daf Samech Amud Bet tells us that the plants had indeed begun to sprout, but they paused just shy of breaking through the soil surface. It was at this pivotal moment that Adam emerged and offered his heartfelt prayer, his tefillot, for rain. In response, the heavens opened and the dormant seeds of life burst forth. We learn from here that the Almighty yearns for the tefillot, the prayers of the righteous, and responding to their pleas with life-sustaining blessings. We see a similar idea with the story of Leah, who, through Ruach HaKodesh, was granted foresight into Yaakov's destined 4 wives. When she welcomed her son Yehudah into the world, she bestowed this name as an offering of gratitude to the Creator. The amazing thing is that the Gemara in Berachot on Daf Zayin teaches us that until this point in creation, no one had actually bothered to thank Borei Olam for anything. And then, v'ta'amod miledet, she stopped giving birth. Why? The Chozeh of Lublin provides a shocking, hard to believe, stating that Leah stopped having children because she didn't ask for more. And if you don't ask, you don't get. Reb Yaakov Galinsky once recounted that the Netziv of Volozhin once confessed that on the days he couldn't cry copious tears while uttering the words V'tein b'libenu bina lahavinu lahaskil were the very days he was unable to unearth a new chidush in Torah. This powerful narrative underscores the profound connection between heartfelt tefillot, hakarat hatov, and the endless wellsprings of divine blessings. Please open your hearts and minds to the following story. Tzipporah and Rivka shared a unique bond as close friends and were dedicated social workers for an Israeli agency. Their work led them to a nursing home in Bnei Brak, where they met a remarkable 83-year-old woman named Chava. As she was part of their shared caseload, her presence brightened their days, and they found immense joy in simply working with her and spending time in her company. And one day, while Tzipporah and Rivka were discussing their plans, Chava overheard them. They were about to travel to Amukah, the kever of Rabbi Yonatan ben Uziel, to pray for shidduchim. They had begun and thought about how long they were single for quite some time and were eager to take advantage of this segula associated with davening at Amukah to find their destined life partners. Intrigued, Chava inquired with a twinkle in her eye if there might be room for her in their car. Their curiosity piqued, and Tzipporah and Rivka questioned Chava, "What's your desire to go to Amukah?" She responded with unwavering determination, "I never got married, and I want to daven. I want to pray to Hashem to find my basher, my nasib." The two friends struggled to contain their surprise, almost bursting into laughter at the thought of an 83-year-old woman praying for a shidduch. Chava believed it was never too late to find love and asked them to please join their sacred journey. With hesitance and a bit of amazement, they agreed to take her, and so, on a Sunday morning, the three of them set out for Amukah, Tzipporah, Rivka, and their elderly friend Chava. When they reached the holy makom, each of them found their spot and began to pray. Tzipporah and Rivka watched in awe as Chava poured out her soul in prayer. Afterward, they headed back to Bnei Brak. A year passed. Tzipporah and Rivka had moved on from their work at the nursing home. However, one day they found themselves close by and they decided to pay Chava a visit. When they walked in, they were met with the surprising news that Chava was no longer there. Concerned, they inquired further, "Where is she?" To their relief, they learned that Chava was alive and well, but had undergone a life-altering transformation. She had gotten married and now lived with her husband in Bnei Brak. Tzipporah and Rivka were astonished and delighted by this unexpected turn of events. They obtained Chava's address and went to visit her. The door was opened by an elderly gentleman who welcomed them inside and called out to his wife, Chava. She greeted them with a warm smile and invited them to sit at the kitchen table. After catching up a bit, they asked her how her shidduch came about. She was more than happy to share. Well, you see, when my husband lost his wife, his children argued about where he should live. He decided that the best way to avoid any infighting was that he lived by himself in an old age home. When he moved into the home, someone thought he would make a great shidduch for me. Incredible. And it wasn't long after that we got engaged, married, and moved into his apartment. Tzipora couldn't help but ask the question on her mind. Chava, we all went to Amukah and prayed for a shidduch too, yet you were answered and we're still single. Why? Chava's response was simple yet profound, and I think the answer is pashut. She said, when I asked to join you on the trip to Amukah, I knew you thought I was crazy. It seemed like the most ridiculous idea in the world. And as we drove there, I realized that I had no one to depend on except Borei Olam himself. Therefore, when I prayed with my entire being. When you prayed, I suspect you didn't give it everything that you had. You were also relying on the shadchan or some other family member to make your shidduch, and for this reason, you likely only gave 50, 60, or 70% of your heart, and that's why I believe I was answered and you weren't. When Borei Olam sees that you are turning to him and only him, he will answer. He will answer you, Chava says, because if you don't ask, you don't get. Bereshet bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Chazal teach us that in the beginning of creation, Borei Olam wanted to create the world with din, strict judgment. But the Zohar tells us that all din is actually rooted in chesed. And he shows us in the name of Kudsha Barichu. If we were to extrapolate the gematria of Hashem's name, Elokim, it would be spelled as follows. Aleph would be Aleph Lamed Peh. Lamed is Lamed Mem Dalid. He is He He. Yud would be Yud Vav Dalid. And Mem would be Mem Mem. If we add the value of all the letters, it's the identical gematria of Berahamim, in mercy. Now, isn't the time for us to question, Kudsha Barichu exudes formidable mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, Am Yisrael, our brothers and sisters now, more so than in the last 75 years, require our most heartfelt tefillot. In these challenging times, the echoes of history remind us that we are strongest when we come together, not only as a community, but as a family bound by bitachon. Tefillah is our lifeline to the divine. It's our source of strength in times of adversity. If we don't ask, we won't receive, says Rabbi Yaakov Galinsky, for in the act of asking is a testament to our unwavering belief that a brighter future is on the way. Together, we shall find strength, resilience, and the divine grace that has sustained us since Adam Harishon. Our tefillot are the threads that bind us, the light that guides us, and the hope that unites us. Am Yisrael Chai, Mika Amcha Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom.